What up, Tumble Track friends? I'm Coach Tony here with another Homnastics weekly training tip, and today I've got a challenge for you. I've got my Build-A-Mat, and we're gonna get creative with it.
I'm gonna hold it behind you, you're gonna try and kick it. Split jump.
Whoa! This one takes a little bit more balance. It's a little ninja. 1, 2, I'm gonna step this one through. Through! Oh, super good. Land back on the T-trainer. Whoop. Oh, well, hey, that was a little bit too high. This is a great tool to help you build some confidence for those exercises that give you a little bit of the heebie-jeebies and a few of the bumps and bruises.
You ready? Set, go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, freeze! Ah, you won! There's lots of room in here for her hands and her head in her press handstand. Okay, tuck, wolf, pedal, full split. Not a chance. Find some fun.
All right, friends, go find some fun, and we'll see you next time.
Hey there, everyone. Watching that video always puts a huge smile on my face. I feel like I just watched the last 2-3 years of professional work with Tony flash before our eyes, and the bloopers are so funny. I think we should make a whole Homnastics bloopers reel. So fun. I want to welcome all of you to our kickoff event for our 2023 live season. Today we are featuring one of our industry's favorite, as well as a Tumble Track favorite, Tony Clarno. It is always really, really nice to see when our registrations start coming in that folks from all around the country and actually the globe join us for these events. So welcome to all of you from wherever you are joining us from. I am Carrie Spender, and I'm the Education Coordinator for Tumble Track. And I am joined today by our Digital Marketing Strategist, Kelly Gibson. And as well, on site at Tony's Gym, we have some staff there. Leah will be joining us. You might see her working through herself through the chat. And as well, we have several different staff members viewing today who will be contributing to the chat as well. This is the 3rd year that Tumble Track has hosted live events featuring a lot of pros in their industry, actually. They present on topics that will help to improve your business or sharpen your coaching skills or keep your athletes safe, all, of course, while having fun. Before I turn the stage over to Coach Tony, I wanted to give you a few tips about viewing our presentation today. So take a look. I see a lot of you have already found the chat. This is where you can post any questions that you have along the way. We do have a Q&A scheduled at the end of the event where we will check in with all the questions that you've posted with Tony. So please fill up that chat with any questions that you have. As well, you might notice one of the tabs up at top there says polls. And throughout the presentation today, we will be putting poll questions in there. Make sure you answer those poll questions. They'll only take you a second. And the polls are actually the way that we are going to be deciding on the drawing for our $250 gift certificate winner at the end of the event. So stick around for that. So without further ado, I think that's all my nuts and bolts. I am so excited to introduce to the screen my favorite and yours, Tony Clarno, presenting on how to be a party and camp conversion rock star.
What up, friends? This is one of my absolute favorite things to do. I love inviting people into the spaces where I am. I love talking about all of the things. So today is going to be just another one of those beautiful moments, a chance to share some of the things. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Coach Tony. I'm the founder of Ninja Monkey Gym. I'm also the owner of Ninja Squad Gym. This is my beautiful little gym. We'll take a little spin as they Ah, look, there's James and there's Leah. They're helping us out. Hi, guys. Yes. As they sort through some of our tech stuff. But yes, this is my fabulous little space. I absolutely love it. We're new to the world, but it's given us a chance to play. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Okay, Evan? Since I was super little, I grew up in a gym. Now I'm a dad. I've got 3 little ninjas. Previously, I was a high-level gymnastics competitor. I was a team coach. I was a team manager. Let's see if maybe I'm getting invited on the stage now. I don't think so. From over here, I've also been a programming director. I've been a general manager, and now I'm the owner. And now there's 2 of me. Look at that. We'll see if that one comes in. I've been working with Tumble Track now for 3 years, and I got to tell you, every time we do one of these, it is so much fun. Okay, it just kind of feels like coming home, right? We have a great creative relationship. We get to create these beautiful programming moments. We get to share. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to share all the things. But if you're here, you already know. Everything is so easy when you got good stuff to work with. Okay, when you have good quality stuff, one of the things that I really love about love to kind of talk about as often as I can is when you something that's really great, you try to dip into it in as many different areas inside of your business as you can. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about party, being who you are, being what you do already. All right. Finally, I love to play. I love to try things. I love to go big. I love to make mistakes. And I love to throw things away when they're not working and adapt. Right. And one of the ways that I love to do this is to talk to a lot of different people, talk to you guys. Right. I get the opportunity to talk to coaches and owners and managers from around the country, around the world every week. And every time they say something I don't know, that I don't understand, that I've never seen before, I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you so much, because I love to learn and I love to share that information, right? Okay, so today we are talking about being a Christian conqueror, all right? And to do that, I want to start with a story. I love stories. Stories are my favorite, okay? So here's my little story. I've got 3 little ninjas. And the other day, my 3 little ninjas and I went to a birthday party at a gymnastics facility just down the road. Okay? Let's talk how this is going to relate into all the things, right? Okay? So we go to this birthday party, and the first thing I want to say is all the things that they did really well. All right? So the things that they did really well, they were super kind. Oh my goodness. We walked in the door, and right at the beginning of that experience, there was somebody behind the front desk, and they were oh so nice, and they navigated everybody through, and there's all these humans, and they just were really great at it. So that's a big win. Number 2, one of the things that they did really well was they had great setups. Okay. They had a zip line, they had toys, they had trampolines, they had inflatables. You know, one of my kids played with a soccer ball for like 30 minutes, just navigating through. I mean, that was awesome. Okay. So those are some of the things that were really great about the experience. Now, I kind of want to talk about some of the things that were, for me, a little bit of a miss. It seemed like a little bit of a missed opportunity. Okay. One of the things that I felt like was a bit of a miss was as soon as we jumped into the party, the coaches kind of disappeared. And I was thinking, you know, from a business perspective, I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. And we never learned their names. We never learned the coaches' names. Another miss was in the gym. It was kind of dark. It's kind of smelly. Right? And I was thinking, okay, all right. I don't know if that's necessarily a positive, but a lot of the other parents would talk about that. They'd be like, hey, it's kind of dark in here. It's kind of smelly. Interesting. Kids didn't do anything gymnastics. Kind of weird. right? They went on these zip lines, they went on these inflatables and stuff, but they didn't do anything even remotely to gymnastics. And what's more than that, they didn't really go on anything that was gymnastics related. So they do the zip line and then they go into the pit, but then they didn't do anything on the equipment. And so those were some of the things that I felt like were a bit of a miss. Okay, so the coaches would disappear. The kids didn't really do anything gymnastics oriented, and they didn't go on anything that had really much to do with gymnastics either. Which to me is like, well, but we're in a gymnastics facility, right? This isn't a trampoline park. Well, what we're trying to do is really just make sure that kids have a blast, and maybe it's unobserved, but yeah, like, let's teach them some stuff, right? So this is a good opportunity. The last thing that I mentioned was when I left, I didn't know anything about the gymnastics classes. I didn't know which ones were right for my kiddos. I didn't know which days would be options for us. Nobody kind of connected with us. So one of the things that I would ask, it's our first poll question. Okay, if you notice in the side over here, it says up at the top, it says chat, it says polls, it says handouts, right? Okay, inside of this, we're gonna do some polls. We're gonna engage with you, we're gonna ask you some questions. If you answer all the questions, you get entered to win our very awesome prize, okay? So here's your first polling question. If you go into the polls section, you'll get a chance to see it. Here's your first one. Do you invite parents to stay at parties and camp? Okay, check it out over there. Look at it. Oh, thank you very much. This is so nice. Okay. Oh. Okay, do you invite them to stay? If you're asking me, I would advise you to do so. Okay. Now, let's answer that question and then, oh, yes, we love to show off parents. Look at that, 86%, 87%. Oh, you guys, you're making me happy. Okay, yes, absolutely. You should invite parents to stay because this is an opportunity to show people what you do, how you do it, why you're the best at doing it. And from there, you'll get a chance to actually nurture those individuals to become great clients of yours. Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about what we're going to do today. All right, we're going to go. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the primary aim in holding events, parties. Okay, customers versus clients. We're going to talk about what is conversion. What is conversion? What is conversion, right? Okay, and then we're going to talk about how do we do it? How do we convert? This is going to be broken down into structure, service, staff, and of course, stuff. Okay, you need good stuff. All right, so we've got our fancy little chalkboard. Look at this thing, isn't this? Oh my goodness. Leah, who is helping us over here as we kind of navigate through these technical things. She did this. I didn't write this. Come on now. There's no way I wrote that. This is gorgeous. This is so good. Okay, so we're going to talk about customers versus clients. We're going to break this down into tiered systems. Okay, so let's talk about the secret of being the biggest secret of being a conversion conqueror, and that is recognizing what parties and events are actually for in your business. Yes, they're for generating revenue, giving your employees a job, all the things, right? But what are they actually for? All right. What they're actually for is growing your community. Your community is that pool, that beautiful pool of people who love to sing your praises inside the world that you live in, the neighborhood, the community, right? You've got to grow your community inside of your community. And every time a human being walks into your building, right, with their munchkins, you have an opportunity to make them raving fans. Okay, I love that. I love. In this moment, I can't even think about who does the boot camp. Metzger. Yes, that is one of my favorite phrases that he uses. He says, "Create raving fans." I think it's so smart, and that's what you're trying to do. When somebody walks in the door, you're trying to create a raving fan. Doesn't matter if they walked in the door to buy a Leo out of your shop, to go to a birthday party, to use the restroom. It really doesn't matter. Anytime somebody comes in the door, you're trying to create a raving fan. So you're growing your community. If that's the case, then everything that you do with your coaches, your staff, your managers, if they're all based on that, right? If all your choices are based on that, they should all be directed towards what you do best. And what you do best is where you are, okay? You have customers and then you have clients. So let's break that down. Customers are somebody who comes into your door and does a one-time purchase, okay? They come for a birthday party. They come in for to buy a leotard. They come in for an event, right? That's a customer. They paid you once. A client is somebody who lives inside of your community that you engage with regularly and nurture to greater sales, okay? So your clients are the people who are your first tier sales. Those are your classes, okay? Look at this. Like clumsy writing compared to this beautiful script. Okay, so we got classes, right? That is your first tier sale. The thing that is recurring, that you have your clients that you're trying to nurture them. Now, your second tier sales are your one-offs or regular sales, okay? So these are kind of like your pay-to-play customers. So this is definitely parties and events. And kind of depending on how you do your camps, it might be your camps. Your camps might live in first tier, but my opinion is it's better to think about your camps as second tier, because if you're doing them right, what you're trying to do is you're trying to take these people and pull them up to this. You're trying to do something inside of your second tier sales that makes your second tier sales customers want to become clients. So you have to be rad at second tier, but you also have to be rad at first tier, right? So you got to be rad at everything. You got to be great at everything, right? You got to be good at all the things. Now your third tier, this is like your pro shop, okay? This is really one-off that actually has nothing to do with your actual kind of like the thing, right? So the thing that is most important inside of your first tier sales, okay, what is the thing you want to be the best at? I'll give you a hint. Trampoline parks don't have it. They don't have it. Okay, so a trampoline park, right? I don't know if it's their first tier sale, but it really is equipment. What's your first tier sale? Do you know? Anybody? Let's see in the chat. I want to go back to the chat. Does anybody know? I have no poll option. Okay, Gina. Yeah. But anybody can throw in the chat. What do you think the biggest thing inside of your first tier sale? Education. I like that, Becky. Yes. Okay. But what does education need? So, service industry, this is our target. Now, here is something to know about what all of this means, right? 70-80% of your sales are recurring revenue. These are your clients. Second tier, pay to play, right? This should only be like 15 to 20% of your business, all right? And then the third tier should be like 5%. Honestly, your pro shop sales should mostly be from your first tier customers or clients. That's where most of your third tier sales should be coming from. So even though it's third tier, it's coming from your clients, right? So it's kind of matchy-matchy. It's really just something that you're providing for your first tier clients, okay? So if your aim is to convert second tier into first tier, then what you have to have are awesome teachers. Okay, so let's talk about that. Remember that party that I went to where all the teachers Like they were like, hey, welcome to the party. And then they just like went away, right? Think about that. If your business is really designed to be about how do I get kids into classes? How do I teach them something? How do I create a relationship and engage? Then when kids come to a party and they get introduced to a coach or some kind of leader that's leading them through, and then that person's like, later, right? Well, that's not really doing your thing, you know, because your thing is engaging with kids, creating that relationship. So how do we do this? How do we do this? Wait, how do we do this? Oh, next page. Okay. We do this by looking at what you have in your gym and thinking about it in terms of what it is that you do inside your business and making it a part of your parties, right? So the first thing that we're going to talk about, remember, we talked at the very beginning, we talked about you need to do this with structure. You need to do this with service. You need to do this with staff. And then lastly, you need to do this with the right stuff. Okay, so structure, service, staff, and of course, good stuff. Okay, so the first thing you want to think about is an itinerary for your parties. An itinerary that is not hashtag open gym. Okay, in fact, it should be hashtag please stop the open gym. Just stop it. Just stop. Okay, what you should do is you should look at your gym. Look, I got a super small gym. It's so perfect. I love it. Okay, I got this small gym, but when I think about what is accomplished in a class in this gym, there's a structure, right? There's an itinerary. We start here, okay? This is our warm-up space. Then we move over here, we do bars. Then we go to the tumble track, and then we come over here, we practice our running skills and then our rolling skills, and then we play a giant game, and then we go out the door, right? And an hour just runs by. It just feels so fast and fun and engaging, right? Well, how can you apply that structure into a party, right? How can you make an itinerary that matches the same kind of structure that you have inside your party, inside your classes? Because guess what? When you do that, when you create that structure, when you create that itinerary, you're matching what the rest of your business does. And isn't that the goal? Isn't the goal that when somebody comes in and sits in the lobby and they see this, the way you structure an educationally based party, that they go, oh, wow, I bet they'd be really good at teaching classes here. Look how organized and compartmentalized everything is and how they start here and they move through the space, right? You got to dump the open gym. The open gym doesn't help your business, right? The open gym tells people that you've got stuff in there, but it doesn't introduce your programming, your structure, all the things that you do really well that makes you a rock star at working with kids, okay? So make sure you have itinerary. Inside your itinerary, you got to have everybody jamming with a great coach. So start with a game. Start with a game with a coach who's at the front and leading them in a really fun, engaging way. Something like Ships Ahoy or dodgeball, right? Or island tag. One of these things that where you get to manipulate some of the stuff that's inside your gym, but what you really want is that leader. Somebody who is like a host of the party, who's working with kids and managing, okay, you go over here and you do this, because I bet you anything, that person is gonna get a lot of compliments from your parents sitting in your lobby. And when that person gets a lot of compliments, it means that what they're recognizing is how good you are, how good your business is at coaches in leadership and class management. That's what you sell, right? So if you can show that, amazing. The next thing you want to do inside your itinerary is think about something that every kid that comes into your business, right, can learn. Remember, you're a gymnastics facility, you're a cheer facility, you're a ninja facility, you're a dance facility. What is it that you do? You teach kids. You teach kids stuff, okay? So what kind of stuff can you teach kids in like 10 minutes? Can you teach them a squat on? Can you teach them a forward roll? Can you teach them, well, you probably can't teach them a handstand, but maybe you can, right? Let me show you what we teach them, okay? Because this is a ninja place, right? We don't do any gymnastics classes or any or tumbling classes yet, but I mean, I think this is just what we do, right? So this is super cool. We teach them how to do tic-tacs, all right? So we set this thing up because we found that, well, if we give them, I don't know, 10 minutes and a great coach, we can teach them how to do this. Ready? So they go, oh, 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 stick. And we start, right? We start with just single leg jump stick. Then we do wall run stick. And then we do 2, stick. Until we finally graduate to tick, 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 stick, right? And guess what? Guess where we're doing it? Right in front of the parents, yeah? So we show them, boom, and they stick, and they learned that. They learned it in a birthday party. Isn't that amazing? Okay, and we do the other stuff too. We'll come over here, and we'll go to the warp wall, and we'll give them tries, but guess what? Not very many of them are gonna do it. And isn't that awesome? Because if they watch us coach their kids to accomplishing this very simple task, it doesn't have to be this, right? Although I gotta tell you, these are amazing. Like, they're all kinds of amazing. We use them for preschool classes. We use them for ninja classes. We use them. I used to coach competitive gymnastics. Man, we used to use those for vault drills. Find me. I'll show you how. It's like, they're just, you can use them for so many things. But the point is, if you have something in your business that you can teach them inside of a party, you're going right away, taking people who are inside your gym. It's a second tier sale. You're trying to nurture them up to a first tier, right? If a parent, imagine if a parent came out of a party and their child was like, Mom, Dad, guess what I learned at the birthday party? They'd be like, right? That's not normally the goal. Did you have fun? It's like, yeah, of course I had fun, but I learned how to do something kind of ninja. Awesome, okay? So that's what you want to think of your structure. Games, activities, right? And what are they going to learn, all right? Now, other things that you can do inside of it, you can do challenges, right? I mean, this is a hard one, but you could have them like try to climb the rope. Where's the rope? Oh, there it is. That was weird. Yeah, okay? I mean, that's kind of macho. So maybe instead, ooh, this is my favorite. Oh, this is totally my favorite. But unfortunately, I need that. This guy. Okay. Hello. Look at that. No hands. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is like, okay, so it's really hard to just like hang on a rope, right? But all of a sudden, if you turn it into a game, then everybody can hang on the rope. Don't know why. Oh, wait, yes, I do. It's because it's gamification, right? Gamification gives you like superpowers. As soon as it's super fun, then you can all of a sudden do it. So you might not be able to get a kid to swing because that's kind of hard. But if you tell them to knock something down, right? Then they're totally going to do it, right? So find ways to add challenges inside of what you do that include gamification, like knocking stuff down. Because who doesn't want to knock stuff down? I want to knock stuff down. Okay, I had so much fun just knocking that thing down. So you want to find ways to gamify everything that you have in front of you. Yeah, perfect. Let's see if this is going to be high enough. Here's another example, right? Instead of getting a big bounce house, right? This was one of the things that was at the party, right? There's this giant bounce house at this birthday party that I went to with my littles, okay? And they probably spent 20 minutes in there. But you know what? They didn't even touch the beams, the trampolines, the tumble track, any of the gymnastics equipment that is actually fun, probably more fun than a bounce house if somebody just showed them how to have fun on it or got creative with the stuff that's already in the gym, right? So this is a transition bed. If you don't have this and you're trying in the market for a new bed for your trampoline, for your tumble track, you need it, okay? Look at this. We've got the half rounds, and they totally stick to it in a way that they're not going anywhere, right? So you can make obstacle courses on the transition bed. Right? This is just as fun as a hotspot, as a bounce house, if you gamify it, right? Okay, so now they gotta go all the way through this, right? Then you take the air barrels. The air barrels are all attached or snuggled in. They gotta climb over the air barrels, right? They're gonna wiggle. Then maybe they gotta do something on the beam, all the way up. Then they gotta jump down. Then they gotta stick. You gotta squeak. Okay? Like this, you can build with the stuff you already have in your gym, and you can start thinking about, well, what are ways that I can teach them something? Okay? How can I take this setup and for some kids put a forward roll in, or a lever kick, or like a handstand, right? And make it all visible to the parents. Make sure that they can see, look at what your kid's learning. Look at the things, right? And you can do this in multiple areas inside the gym, right? Leah and James and I set this up. I think it literally took us 4.5 minutes, okay? And we're not some crazy strong, super speedy 16-year-old who's just like, oh, give me stuff to do, right? Okay? You can put games everywhere in your gym, obstacle courses, and kids can learn stuff using the things you have. And guess what? Here's the thing that's amazing about it. When they come back to your business for classes and they get on the tumble track again, they're going to have that memory from the birthday party. Oh, this is so fun. I can't wait to do it again, right? Okay. So we talked a little bit about stuff. That's the stuff. All right? We've got structure. We've got stuff. Let's talk about staff. A lot of businesses I have found will try to, isn't this working so much better? Thank you for not closing out on us, Demio. We really appreciate you. This is way less stressful. Let's just label that. Okay. A lot of businesses will hire a party staff and be like, oh, you just, sit in the lifeguard chair and just, watch over the things. Well, okay, great. But now you've taken staff and applied them to your second tier, and they have nothing to do with your first tier. So what are they going to know about nurturing people up to that next tier? They're going to know their very narrow framing of what their responsibilities are. And like everybody ever, they're going to find ways to do less, to do as little as possible, okay? That's normal. That is so normal. And please, if I have a bit of advice for you, well, I have lots of bits of advice for you. That was a really silly thing to say. If I have another bit of advice for you, don't get frustrated when your employees don't go the extra mile for you, okay? Recognize that you are their version of Taco Bell, working for Taco Bell, okay? You're way better than working for Taco Bell, but in their mind, this is temporary. They are not getting married to you in your business. And if you can accept that, then what you can do is you can build structures and systems for making them rock stars inside of what you do, instead of just expecting them to be rock stars, right? That's where the staff training comes in. If you're asking my opinion, everybody who works a party or a camp should first be trained in your first tier sales. They should absolutely be a teacher. Now, whether they teach any classes is irrelevant, but you should train them as a teacher first, because your staff should be great at what it is, the industry that you are in, which is service. And what is service? Service is relationships. And who has the best relationships? Teachers, real teachers, parents who are teachers with their children, parents who look at their kids and go, man, how do I get you to grow towards the beautiful things in life, right? I've got to teach you how to do it instead of being frustrated when you don't do the things, right? I've got to teach you towards the things. Well, if you start with that, if you start with your employees and say, we need you to be teachers, whether or not you teach classes or not, we need you in that mindset of engaging, nurturing, developing every child that comes into the business, right? The result is, even if they're just on parties or camps, they're going to treat kids like that. We have a rule inside of Ninja Squad Gym. A kid should not walk past you without saying hi to them. Hi, what's going on? It does not have to be a long, meaningful relationship, but give them a high five. Like, hey, good to see you today, right? That kind of relationship building, nurturing is only going to happen if you put them in that teacher mindset first, and then you hand them the responsibilities of a party and say, your target is to teach the kids something. They come through the party, they do all the things, they play, but what are they going to learn? What are you going to teach them? Right? Okay, so that's your staff. So he talks about your structure, games, activities, challenges, should go from one place to the other, just like a class, right? There's a rotation schedule. We start over here. We're going to learn something, then we'll play a game over here, right? That's your structure, your itinerary. Then you're going to think about your stuff. Use the stuff you have. Don't buy new stuff. Why? Why are you buying new stuff? You got plenty of stuff. Or if the stuff that you have you can't use in multiple places, well, then buy the stuff that you can use in multiple places, right? Okay, with the exception of competition equipment. You know, like obviously super high beams and stuff like obviously you just need the one or two or whatever, but everything else inside your gym should work for all of your programming, okay? Including your parties and your events, and should be able to get creative with it. Third thing is your staff, train them. The last thing is your service. Service. Let's talk about this, people. Okay, we're gonna come this way. So inside of your business, we're learning this, by the way. Every day we get a chance to learn because we're new, right? So one of the things that we get to learn is that when people walk in the door, the more engagement we have with the person right there, sitting at the desk, it's got to be an open pathway so they can just go right to that person. The more they can talk, the more they can engage with the people at your front desk, the better, right? So here's a great example. Inside of the business or the birthday party that I went to, great engagement right at the beginning. Front desk staff, blah, 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 show me all the things. The waiver process was so easy, like totally crushed. And then they walked us up to our party room and we never saw them again. They disappeared. Like, oh, where'd you go? Like it was on a second level and we were in the back, which is fine. But we never got that engagement again. That beautiful moment at the beginning, you gotta find ways to make that beautiful moment happen throughout the whole thing. So you know what we do? Halfway through, we offer a tour to all the parents. We say, hey, would you guys like a tour? Would you like to see some of the things that we do? And we have this little brochure that talks about our programming, talks about our events, right? We walk through the brochure together, talks about all of our pricing, everything like that. And then once we get to the end of it, we take them right back to that beautiful little front desk and we say, hey, you want to look at your schedule and see what we have available? And you know what? People do it. They go, oh, yeah, let's go look. And maybe they sign up, maybe they don't, but for the most part, they kind of do, right? Another good reason to have, for us, we have no barriers, no windows, no anything. And yeah, it does make it a little bit tricky because sometimes people just want to come onto the floor, but it's worth it. It's worth it for them to hear all the things that we say to their kids and go, wow, these guys really care. They care about like what's going on, right? So we want that complete experience, right? That's service. Okay, so we hit all of them. Sorry, it's a lot of stuff. I need a piece of paper, man. I need lots of, look at this, all the pieces of paper. Okay, so got to make sure that I didn't miss an opportunity for the poll. Yes, here it is, our next poll. We're gonna talk about staff really quick. How long has your staff been with you in your program? Looks like you guys, look, we got 26 answers already. That's only half the audience. Come on, people. How long has your staff been with your program? A few weeks, a few months, a few years, or longer? See, that's so interesting. I love that question because you could think about, well, your staff should be divided into people you want to keep for a short time and people you want to keep for a long time. Let's be honest. Entry-level coaches, you don't need them forever. What you need is for them to love their job and tell their friends about loving their job. Because then when they go on to their next beautiful adventure, their friends come and kind of take their place. And that's normal, right? That's normal. I hired somebody just 3 weeks ago who said, hey, I'm leaving in 8 months. I'm like, you're too good, man. I can't not hire you. I'll give you a high five on the way out, but please just come hang out and contribute. You're just such a great guy. And at our last manager meeting, he's the one that everybody talked about. He's like, oh man, he's just so great. I'm so glad we have him. It's like, me too. You know, it's not even a part of the conversation. We all know that he's going to leave in 6 or 7 months. That's fine. Because for the next 6 or 7 months, he's going to make us all feel really good. And then we'll figure out what happens with his transition later, right? Okay. I don't know. Is that it? What's our other? Simple enough. Where did that poll? We did all 3 polls? Great. This is great. All right. So I think that's it for me. We talked about all of our 4 seconds, right? Our structure, staff, stuff, and service. Now, when you put all that together, guess what? You're going to convert. That's what's going to happen. You're going to find a way to make your beautiful parties and events, your second-tier sales, into your first tier. Yeah? Okay, cool. Well, this is kind of a mess now. Sorry, Leah. Sorry. It was so pretty before, but it's not anymore. Okay, that's it. Let's open this up to some questions and answers. See if you guys have any questions for me. Tom, thanks. That's very nice of you. Most of my staff grew up in my studio. That's so cute, Nicole. How we run things and invite. That's so smart, right? If people were a part of your family and your community and your culture and everything, isn't it so nice? Just navigate them up. Yes, you could put, yeah, those ones do have D-rings, and we did not attach them together. It made for a much more dynamic experience. Okay, let's see if anybody has any questions. How do you train your staff to ask? How do you train your staff to ask those questions or make suggestions to the parents to join the classes from a party? Very good. Let me grab some water. It's in that itinerary, right? So you're going to create an itinerary. So we're answering the question, how do you train your staff to ask those questions, right, of the parents, right? You put it in the itinerary. You say, okay, at 4:17, right, Stephanie is going to walk out to the parents and just say, hey, in 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to do a tour of the facility. We're going to just kind of go to the bathrooms, going to show where everything is. And then we're going to talk about all the programs that we offer. If you'd like to join in on the tour, because it's a whole lot of fun, then why don't you meet us over here at the front desk, and then we'll go through it together. And then some people will migrate over. and just literally go through a tour. We found that in our business, we actually do tours all week, 2 or 3, and 2 or 3 a day is what we try to figure out. And those are the things that convert best for us. So we just add that same tour process into our party. Most of our birthday parties, how long are your birthday parties and summer camps? What's too long that you lose kids' happy attitudes and energy? Okay, lot there. So I'm gonna try to answer those very quickly. My first thing about birthday parties is that the length of them should be determined by the other parties that are offered by other services in your area, okay? If everybody's doing 90-minute parties, they've probably learned something that you could tap into, all right? If, for example, I thought we were gonna do 90-minute parties, but when I looked at what else was going around and where most parties were happening, I realized we need to do a 2-hour party. Okay, so look at your area and look at what people are wanting to do, and then create it based on where you feel like you can have the most success. Now, for camps and for parties, if you are getting into the 2 to 3 hour length, you need brain breaks, okay? Oh, Leah, will you go give me that red bell? Do you see it? There's 2 of them there. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. You need brain breaks. Here's one of the biggest problems with trampoline parks and with open gym. All right, when you do open gym, they will get on a beam, they'll play on it for 3 minutes, and then they'll go, I'm bored, right? They kind of need somebody to show them the things. That's what your coaches are there for. Additionally, they don't know how to regulate how much energy they put into things. So you need to actually create built-in breaks for them, where sometimes they're exploring, sometimes they're focused, sometimes they're going really hard, sometimes they're sitting and they're listening. You've got to figure out how to actually regulate that for them inside of a great itinerary or structure. Here's what we do. Oh, that was loud. Okay, we have a cowbell, right? We just ring it, and as soon as we ring it, everybody looks, and we go, everybody come sit over here, right? And then they run, and sit down, right? We do that throughout the party, maybe 5 or 6 times. And that is enough for them to recognize, like, okay, it's time to do something else. And then they sit and they wait. But while they're waiting, they're actually resting. That rest and recovery is totally crucial in order to create a great experience for the kids. So they get to the end of the day, they're not grumpy, right? You don't want to exhaust them so much that they're grumpy, because then they're not going to say nice things, which is what you want at the end, okay? Same thing applies for camps. Yeah, we run 3-hour camps. That's what the people in our area want. They don't like full-day camps. If they want to do a full-day camp, they're going to go to the Parks and Rec department down the road, and there's going to be 500 people there, right? So that's what they're looking for. It is 2 hours of gymnastics. So what we do is we do 75 minutes of gymnastics. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do 75 minutes of ninja. Then we do 20 to 30 minutes of table time, no longer than 30 minutes. And then they come back into the gym for the last 15 minutes. Then we do this crazy cute thing. Oh my God, guys, it's so cute. Okay, so we go through 75 minutes of activities where they're going to different sections and they're switching with different coaches. So we got a whole bunch of coaches that are working with them. So they do an obstacle course over here, and then they learn something over here, then they switch, and then they go over there, right? And they do their table time, and then they come back out, and we say, okay, you know the different areas of the gym and the different obstacle courses that we did, right? Go back to your favorite one and play on it, and switch whenever you want for 10 minutes. So it's open gym, but it's not, right? They're going back to the structured thing. Then the last 5 minutes, we do this thing that we call putting the birthday child to bed. It's so cute. Okay, so there's a big mat, and we actually grab one of these Build-A-Mats. Oh my God, there's so many things to talk about, people. Okay, we grab one of these Build-A-Mats, and we actually have the kid stand with their back against it, and then we have all of their friends line up on the ground behind them, sit down, and then we lay the kid down on the Build-A-Mat, and then we crowd surf them. We crowd surf them across all of their friends onto a big squishy mat, right? And then we have a ladder at the end of the mat. And now the child has been crowd surfing like this, right? And they go and then they lay down on the big mat, right? And then we say, okay, everybody say goodnight. And everybody looks up at the camera and gets around the big mat and they all wave. And the birthday child does like a thumbs up. And we snap a bunch of pictures and then we send it to their parents. And what that ritual at the end does is say, hey, we're done. Right? It's super cute and they love it. But it also says, hey, the party's over. Like, y'all, we put them to bed. It's time to head out the door. Right? So if you don't have a good night ritual for your camp or parties, I would definitely suggest incorporating that. It's much easier to get kids out the door. What do you think are some of the best ways to follow up after they leave the facility? You obviously have their contact info. Yes. Yes, we do. Okay. So in your waivers, in whatever it is, however they register, grab that list and put them into your sales CRM, which would be the Monday after, send them something. The Thursday after the party, send them something. We have everybody walks out with a QR code that's a $10 try it. We don't believe in free trials. You should pay something for the class. But if they came to a party, they get a $10 try it. And so they can call us and they can use that. But the Monday after and then the Thursday after. And then after that, if we don't get kind of the nurturing that we're looking for, we add them to our general marketing list. Most birthday party staff, is that it? What do you do during those small breaks? Small breaks after the ringing the bell, that's just talking about what happens next. If it's camps, give them a 5-minute craft or activity, right? Or talk to them about their favorite movie, right? Just get them off and then come back to the activity. Yeah? Okay, cool. When editing this video, yeah. Can you add? Oh my goodness. It's super cute. We love putting the kids to bed. Okay, this is great. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me tell you about some of the ways that you can find me or you can see more stuff like this. If you haven't already, jump onto the Ninja Coaches Tips and Tricks group. One of the things that I like to do inside that group is not just ninja stuff. I like to just talk about things like this, like how do you rock out birthday parties? How do you rock out camps? How do you, train great staff? Training staff is my favorite thing to do. I absolutely love it. Okay. I love working with young employees. I love nurturing them. I love teaching them the things. We currently have 15 ninja coaches at Ninja Squad Gym, and only one of them had ever taught ninja before. All right. It is so much fun to find awesome humans who would be great for camps, who would be great for parties, who would be great for classes, and show them how to engage with kids and how to think like this, how to think like a teacher, think like relationships. Okay. It's my favorite thing to do. The other thing you can do is sign up for free stuff at ninjamonkeygym.com/free-stuff. Pretty easy to find. Okay. You'll get more stuff like this. That's it. Thanks
Very
for
nice.
going through all of our technical experiences.
Thank you so much, Tony. That was awesome. All right, Tony, thank you so much for that presentation. Awesome material. Always learning new things when we are with you. Tumble Track loves you and the material that you bring us. It is awesome. So we will see you later. Go ahead and stick around for just a minute, everybody. I am going to go ahead and wrap up. So before we wrap up this presentation, I'd like to introduce you to our sales team that is with us today. Many of you may have already worked with Shelly or Jen. These are members of our sales team. They are former athletes and coaches, absolutely knowledgeable in the industry, and they know our products very well. Their emails are listed here. If you have any follow-up questions for them, please feel free to reach out to them. We also have an exclusive promo code for the attendees of today's event. So if you noticed any equipment in Tony's gym that you had your eye on, any purchase over $250, you get a free set of sticky numbers with the code Tony23. This promo code will also be in the follow-up email with the presentation that you will get in just a few minutes. This code is only valid until the 30th, so you do not have a lot of time and you do not want to miss. I love these sticky numbers, helps organize my kids in my gym, spacing them out, and they're colorful, they're fun, and they're so easy to use. So make sure you check out that promo code. Make sure if you're not following us already, you keep up with us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all at TumbleTrack. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We are always trying to throw educational content out that way, including our Homnastics series that we do with Coach Tony. For more upcoming events, make sure you visit our website /events to see what we have on our roster for the rest of the year. To save time, I'm going to go ahead and randomly draw the giveaway winner and send them an email right after this event. So make sure you are checking your email for that. Otherwise, look out for the email for the presentation, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you, everyone, for coming.